Okay, yeah, I'm already cracking up. If you read the title, you're either going, Jenn, what the actual hell? Or you saw the video that prompted this one to be a thing. So, if you're in camp number 1, backpedal several videos to my last Remembering Forgotten Memories video, and right near the start of it, I outed my own bad behavior from a few days ago. In which I admitted to throwing half a chicken breast down the toilet and getting it very royally stuck in there and freaking out, not knowing what exactly to do about it, and was pretty well convinced I had ruined the entire plumbing system in this house because of said chicken in the toilet. So, it doesn't matter which of those two camps you're in, you're probably still wondering, Jenn, why in the actual fuck did you put chicken down the toilet? Well, before I answer that, PSA time, do not put chicken down the toilet. Just don't. It won't end well for you. It won't. Just don't do it. Yeah, I already knew the rule about only the 3 P's go down the toilet. Pee, poop, and paper. Yeah, I know. I knew that going in. It's not like I was a dumbass who didn't know that rule. It's not like this is even the first time that I have done something stupid like this. So, trust me when I say it. Oh, I knew the rule. I just fucked off anyway. I don't know. But so, context of what brought us to this point, and then what ended up happening next, because I'm sure those who saw that video have been wondering ever since, so you never went back and said anything else about it after that day. So what happened? I'll tell you, just hang with me. One step at a time. We'll get there. So, what brought me to that in the first place? For context, I was having a super bad pain night, okay? So yes, I got very high. Relax, it's California, it's legal here, okay? I wasn't doing anything illicit. So, I got really high, but it also wasn't 100% doing what I needed it to do. So I also drank on top of it, and that was my fatal flaw. And usually I know better. I usually do not mix the two together, because anytime I do, I am pretty much guaranteed to do some kind of stupid shit. Every time. Every time. Which is why I tend to avoid that. But I was kind of desperate for relief. And those who don't know, I'm allergic to all NSAID drugs, which leaves me with being able to take a grand total of Tylenol in terms of pain relief that I can get over the counter, and that's it. Unless I want to end up in the ER, because I am that allergic to all the others. So I'm pretty much stuck with either that, or hope like hell that getting stoned will do the trick and numb out enough to deal with pain relief. And if not, let's roll the dice and self-medicate the other way. So it was one of those nights, and I thought, okay, it's already nighttime. I'm probably gonna do this. It'll kick in. I'm probably just gonna go to sleep and hope like hell I feel better in the morning. Yeah, between point A and point B is where I got myself in trouble. Now you're probably wondering, Jenn, why did you have chicken in the bathroom to throw down the toilet? I'm getting there. So, I didn't have it in the bathroom per se. I had it in my bedroom. Because I'm the weirdo who often brings my food up here to eat it. Is it because I'm an antisocial little shit? No. It's a holdover from my teen years where I think it was an anxiety response. I am not 100% sure, but I had this weird thing that I can only assume was an anxiety manifestation that while I would eat, like every third or fourth bite, I would literally choke on my food. Like, not just a little bit, like, dramatically, badly, to where, like, I was constantly worried I might actually die because of it. And the last thing my anxious little ass wanted was people perceiving me as this happened, because I was just trying to survive out here and cause as little drama and bring as little attention to myself as possible. So I just, as a coping mechanism, started taking my food to my bedroom and eating it back there. And like a gazillion years later, it's just a habit that I tend to still do a good majority of the time. If it's like a holiday or a special day or if there's company over, sure, I will go downstairs and I will eat with everybody on those days. Sometimes if I just feel like it, I'll go downstairs and eat with everybody, but like 99% of the time, just by habit, I still bring it to my room most nights. So, again, it's not that I'm being antisocial, it's not that I'm being a weirdo, it's just a holdover from that really weird streak I went through in my teens that like I said, all I can assume is it was like a weird anxiety manifestation, because every once in a while I still have it happen. It's not an every time thing anymore, thank God, but like, the times that it does still happen, I have noticed a direct correlation with anxiety levels. So, that is my assumption, that is my theory, given that it more or less, for the most part, resolved itself, tells me that, yeah, it was probably psychological and not like a physical ailment. Because if it were a physical thing, it would have probably consistently either just stayed or gotten worse with time and probably actually taken my ass out. And it didn't, so I'm assuming it was psychological. Anyway, so that is why I had food up in my room in the first place. This chicken was dry as fuck. My sister overcooked the ever-loving shit out of it. It was horrible. It was not good. Normally she makes food fine, but this night was not having it. She was already pissed off because both of my parents had bitched about how she had overcooked the shit out of it. And she was already, like, yelling because she was so mad about them being ungrateful or whatever. So I was in this headspace of, oh god, I cannot, like, bring this back down after all of that. I guess I'll leave it in here and worry about it later, like, after everyone goes to bed, maybe. I don't know. Or, like, sneak it down early in the morning and toss it. I don't know. I kind of set it aside. Wasn't even thinking about it. So, everything's kicking in. I'm at a point I'm feeling no pain at this point. I'm having myself a good old time listening to music, trying to bliss the fuck out, and just forget about everything. And fucking Freebird comes on. Nobody talked to me about Freebird for a long time after this. I don't know why. I don't know why, of all the things. Of all the things. Somehow, in that moment, in that song being on, something clicked in my head that was like, liberate the chicken down the toilet, let it be a free bird. Oh my god, I thought it would be funny. In the moment, it felt like a good idea. In hindsight, had I just cut it up smaller, maybe it wouldn't have even been a problem. But no, my bitch ass took the whole, like, half of it that I just was not having, and was like, I cannot with this. And then really just the whole thing, whoop, into the toilet, and flush. And I watched a uh-oh. Uh-oh. So what does my genius ass do? Plunge, 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 try to force it down. And I flush it again. And now it's at least out of sight. But oh, it is very, very clearly not going down. And I'm like, oh, what have I done? What have I done? What have I done? This is a problem for tomorrow, me. What should I do? And I'm thinking back to other times that I've done similar stupid shit. Not with chicken. I've never done it with chicken before. I will never do it with chicken again. But other times that I've thrown shit down the toilet that I probably shouldn't have, that then got stuck. How did I deal with those? Well, one of them happened to be a watercolor painting that was just like the most unholy, god-awful, terrifying looking thing that I don't know what the fuck I was thinking. I think I had like painted it as like a troll thing to throw on Tumblr, claiming, hey, look at this bullshit I found on DeviantArt. You know, I very clearly am the one who made it. Look how bad it is! And then I did not want the thing in here. I somehow thought it was cursed and or possessed and didn't even feel comfy just like throwing it out. I just wanted it like gone. So I crumpled it up and tried to flush it down the toilet, and it inevitably got stuck, so then I'm freaking out at, oh god, that is how unholy it is. It is literally blocking my fucking toilet. Oh my god. And it took like a couple days for it to randomly dislodge itself and go through. Cool. The second time that I totally fucked my toilet up, throwing something down it that I shouldn't have, was at the start of the pandemic, when there was the whole thing about the toilet paper shortage and people wondering what could we use as like alternatives to toilet paper. Would it be okay to use like paper towels? Water, relax. Anyway, spoiler alert, no, you cannot use paper towels. Do not flush those down the toilet. If you're gonna use a paper towel out of desperation, stick it in the trash. Do not flush it. It won't end well for you. Ask me how I know. It won't end well for you. I literally tested it out of curiosity. The worst part, we still had plenty of toilet paper. We never hit a point where we ran out. I just wanted to know, in a worst case scenario, what I could use if need be, if that were to happen. I didn't even like use it. I kind of just wadded up a piece of toilet paper and paper towel and flushed it as a just to see what would happen. And it got so stuck. It was like literally a week. And at that point in time, I didn't even own a toilet plunger yet. Because with the exception of the watercolor incident, I had never plugged a toilet. So, yeah, I know. You think it's privilege, but it's not. It's not. I just have very not normal bathroom habits to where I've never, for lack of better term, eliminated anything big enough to clog a toilet. It's not cute. I just have that bad of stomach issues. But anyway, I had never been in a position to need one, so I had never bought one. But now I suddenly needed one. But I could not just, tell anybody this for whatever reason, because A, pride, and B, I didn't want my dad to be like, oh, I'll just take care of that for you. I was like, no. He can't know. Why? I don't know, but mostly because I figured my luck, it'll come up, and then I'll have to answer to that. So, no, I'll fix it. I'll do it. So I went on Amazon, bought myself a bellow plunger. It was a Luigi brand, because of course it was, and it's green and blue, like that Luigi, so of course I picked that one, being the nerd that I am. and that is the one that I have to this day. And I plunged the ever-loving fuck out of it, and it did not budge. So, cool. Now what? And I'm scouring the internet for all sorts of different alternatives of what to do if you plunged it and that did not do the thing. What else can you do? And a lot of people were saying pipe snakes. Well, I didn't have one of those, so, okay, pour in a bunch of boiling water and flushed again. Nope, that didn't work. I went through a bunch of different things. None of them worked until came to one that was like, pour in an absolute fuck ton of soap and just let it sit in there. Like, try to plunge so it mixes it up and gets all frothy, and let it sit. So I did. And then I flushed again. And didn't really fix it, but I could tell some movement must have happened. And basically I just repeated this process over and over and over until eventually suddenly it went whoop and it just went. So, problem solved on that one. Very, like, not the thing you would think actually would work. Worked, but, you know, it is what it is. So, that brings us back to the chicken. My genius ass was trying, like, every couple of hours desperately to plunge this thing, even though I knew damn well a rock-hard piece of chicken. This is not going to just suddenly soften and go down. It's not going to go that way. No, it's not. So what do I do? What do I do? I tried boiling water thinking maybe if it's hot enough it'll soften it. The fact that I tried it repeatedly over multiple days and somehow continued to think, even once sober, that might work. I don't know. Clearly, that did not work. So, don't waste your time. Which brought us back to the soap thing. That didn't work either, but I can only assume it's the only reason that it mercifully never reached a point where it began to stink. And I was so paranoid with it being chicken that would be my next problem of, okay, if I can't get this unstuck fast enough, it's eventually going to start to stink. And if it's somewhere in a pipe where it's not being hit by water, you know what's going to happen? It's going to stink through all the pipes in the house. And there's going to be questions. And it's going to trace back to me. And there's going to be hell to pay for it. Yeah, so I could not possibly have that, so I was very desperately, even though I knew it wasn't going to push it through, even though part of the back of my brain kept secretly hoping maybe it'll loosen it up just enough to, like, just go whoop, even though there is no way that it's going to work. Kept trying it. I even got desperate enough to put shampoo and conditioner down it, thinking maybe what if those would soften it? I don't know, guys. I don't know. I was desperate and scared and was not about to tell my dad that I put fucking chicken down the toilet. Or anyone else, for that matter. I was just not going to. Meanwhile, days are passing. And you're probably wondering, so in all that time, what did you do about using a bathroom? Well, I was able to get fluid through it if I plunged it down. So I was able to pee in it as long as I, like, threw the toilet paper away, like, in a trash can. So, okay, fine. But to poop, my little bitch ass had to ninja around this house. For a normal person, they could have just used any other toilet in the house. No questions asked. But as somebody who is such a germaphobe that she habitually will only use her own toilet, this would raise some questions if suddenly I'm using other toilets in the house. They'd be like, why would you do yours if they had caught it? So I would wait till my sister went out even for like 10 minutes to like bring her boyfriend to work. Cool, I have like 10 minutes to bolt across over there. do what I need to do, and get the fuck out. Or would wait till my dad was asleep and use the downstairs one, or would get up crazy early to, like, wake the dog up so she could go pee, but while she's doing that, darn, I mean, I gotta use the bathroom while she's doing that, so I'm just gonna invite myself in over here and use this one while she does her thing in the shower, la 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 la. We have a tiny little 5-pound dog, okay? She pees in the shower, relax, but it's easy to clean up in there. It sounds gross, it's not. It's really not. It's no worse than if a person peed while in the shower. If you claim you don't do it, you're a liar. Anyway, so this is how I managed. It was not ideal, but I managed. And of course, something about the just mentally knowing that I couldn't have that freedom at any moment that I needed to was like it was tripping me out more and making my stomach convinced that, that's all it wants to do right now. I'm like, oh no. This is literally the worst timing in the history of mankind for this. And I am positive it was also an anxiety response, because normally that is not a thing that happens to me multiple times in a day, but, like, much less multiple days in a row. I'm like, the hell is this? What the fuck? I figured it worse. I would have to logistically figure this out maybe once a day. That's doable until I get this solved. I can do it. Yeah. Anyway. My shame. So anyway, somehow I survived, but regardless, I'm still desperately trying to make this thing go down. I am having zero luck with it. So I'm scouring the internet, really getting desperate. And you know what? I literally just Googled the thing. Like, the exact thing that I did. I flushed a chicken breast down the toilet. What do I do? You know what? I'm not the only idiot on the planet who's done it. Apparently. I am apparently not. So, at least, thank God for small mercies, that other people are idiots in the same way that I'm an idiot, because I at least was able to see the answers of how they fixed it, because they all fixed it the same way pretty much. Because pretty much they all posted to the plumbing subreddit, which I also did for good measure, and they all were met with the same response: buy a toilet auger. If that fails, then yes, you will have to take your toilet off. Granted, I'm not sure what happens at the point after you take said toilet off. I don't know what happens next if you were to have to hit that step, but I was hoping to not hit that step, because had it come to that, it would have been game over for me, because I would have been forced to tell my dad. And that is the exact thing I was avoiding, because that is not a thing that I was willing to do. It's like, nope, we're not doing that. So, alright, I go on Amazon. I find the cheapest toilet auger that'll come quickly that I could. Cost me about $30 to get it. But I was able to get it within 2 days of ordering it. So, well, actually, no, I take it back. It was within 1 day of ordering it. It was 2 days after the incident. So, I flushed it on Friday night. By Sunday evening, I had this in my hand. So, just saying, I got the grippy kind that has the little claw on one end at the end of the snaky pipey thing. For those who don't know what a toilet auger is, it is basically a long, flexy metal wire tube thing. And sometimes it has a coil on the end, sometimes it has a grippy thing on the end, sometimes it has different attachments, depends what kind you buy. But I bought the kind with the grippy thing on the end, and it has a trigger on the back end for the kind I have to make it, like, clasp. The kind I bought is generally used by parents of small children who put toys down the toilet that you need to retrieve. Well, I basically had the mentality of a small child. So this seemed appropriate that I would buy that one. But it seemed logistical to me that that would work for these purposes. If any of them have a chance at working, that would be the one. I didn't have $200 to throw at it to buy the one with the cutter on the end, so I was like, well, this is my next best thing. I'm just gonna buy it and fucking pray. So I bought it. And it comes. And I ninja this thing up to my room, no questions asked, because nobody even saw the box. And I open it. And I'm initially freaking out because it's looking a lot smaller in my hand than I thought it was going to be by the measurements on the website. But fine, whatever. It's fine. I know damn well that the S-pipe from the inside of the toilet to where the hole in the floor to the rest of the plumbing is ultimately not that long. And ultimately, if it is somehow further than that S, I'm gonna have bigger problems. I'm gonna need my dad. So I'm sure this will be fine as long as it is situated within that S. This is one of the things where I am, in fact, grateful that my dad was a handyman for like 20 years. Because I picked up a lot of knowledge just from kind of watching him fix things. So I do have like a general gist of how this stuff works, more so than certain people do, I guess. But anyway, given the way and the sounds it was making every time I tried to plunge it, I was pretty freaking positive it couldn't have gone far. It had to be pretty reachable. So I put on some rubber gloves, put on some goggles, I rolled up my sleeves, prepared myself mentally for the worst. I don't know what I was expecting, but I was expecting some absolute horror scene to come out of there. I snake it down in, being careful not to scrape the porcelain, because that was a thing that I was seeing in some of the reviews of some of the toilet augers on Amazon, was people who weren't careful scraping the ever-loving fuck out of their porcelain. I did not want to do that. I must say, I was successful in not scratching it. So, I snake it down. And attempt number 1 comes back unfruitful. I'm like, oh boy, alright, let's try it again. So I fish it back down, and I'm not sure if I'm hitting a wall or if I found it. But I give it a sharp jab just for good measure, just in case, because I'm thinking, if it's it, I kind of would like the little spikes on the claw to stab into it before I pull the trigger on it to pull it back, just to make sure it's in there. So I do it. I pull the trigger. I slowly pull it back, and oh, there it is, there it is, there it is. I got the thing, I got the thing, I got the thing. And I go to pull it back, and it dislodges from the claw, and it falls back in. God damn it. But I can still see it. It's still at a point where I'm able to see it. So now I'm getting all up close and personal with the bowl, because I'm like, oh, I'm not letting it get away now. So now I'm on my hands and knees on the floor, literally reaching in the bowl. I'm up to my frickin' elbows in the toilet water, which is not a thing I ever thought in a million years I'd be willing to do, but I was at that point of desperation at this point. So I'm just down there, stabbing it back in, and I yank it back up. And there it is. And somehow, some way, it looks exactly the same as it did the night that I threw it in there. It's not rotten. It hasn't even begun to smell. And I can only assume that that is because of all the soap and all the shampoo that I lodged down there. It never got a chance to get that far, so thank God. But now I have this thing in my hand, and ew, 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 even though I had gloves on, but ew, 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 what do I do with it? I did not prepare for this before starting. I meant to grab myself a trash bag to have on hand to chuck it into, and I did not come prepared, so I just awkwardly am holding this nasty chicken that's been in the toilet for 2 days in my hand. What do I do? Looking around. What can I, well, I should have probably emptied my bathroom trash can, but since it's not, let's fish through the trash can. Just find any kind of wrapper of anything that's big enough to just lodge this into long enough to get it into a different bag. So I find something, I wrap it up, and I'm digging. Ziploc baggie. You'll do. Fine. In it goes. Zip it up. Gross. Initially, I was just going to bring it straight out, but then I was like, wait. We're going to take the gloves off. I'm going to scrub the fuck out of my hands all the way up the arms. Just, I feel so gross. I'm going to put on a second pair of gloves. Pick up the first pair of gloves and the bag. I'm going to throw them away in my trash bag in my room. Even though it's not full, I don't care. I tie it. I bring it out to the trash. Outside. It is now gone. It is not in here. It is no longer my problem. Problem is solved. And I ditch the gloves out there while I'm at it too, and I go on about my way. I come back in the house, I change my clothes, now I'm feeling totally disgusting. I'm scrubbing everything a second time, a third time, a fourth time, because I am just that germaphobe, because now all of a sudden I'm like, oh god, like the reality of what I just got all up into is really like hitting me. Oh god. Not to mention, now I also have to sanitize the toilet auger so I can put it away somewhere. Even though I scrubbed the shit out of it and sanitized it, it is still on the floor of my shower now because I'm not 100% convinced yet that it's clean enough to put away. So I'm gonna just leave it in there for now. I'll wait till I shower a couple of times, make sure to, scrub it down again and again, a few times more before I even think about putting this thing away, because I'm so squicked out. But anyway, I suppose if I should ever need it again, which, let's be real, with my track record, it's probably a good thing for me to have this device. I guess I now have one, so that we don't have to get this far into things a second time. Hopefully, I can just, God forbid I'm in this situation again with something, I can just retrieve it back. So, another question that I know you're wondering. So did your dad ever find out? This is where serendipity came into play. Because as I am triumphantly, after I am all scrubbed the hell down for the gazillionth time, I'm so cocky about it that I just fixed this, that I'm like, you know what, I'm totally gonna tell him. I'm just gonna go up to me and hey, wanna hear a funny story? And try to laugh it off and hope that he doesn't kill me in the meantime. Right before I was about to do that, my sister had a huge blow-up fight with he and my mom, so bad that she got thrown out for the day. He was so busy being mad at her that I was totally able to just walk up to him, point blank, tell him exactly what I did, and I don't think it even, registered. I think it went in one ear and out the other. I don't think it, really, stuck. But, still, technically it's off my conscience. Technically I told him. And I did not die for it. So, all's well that ends well, but yes, thus concludes the saga of the chicken in the toilet. But yes, PSA, do not put chicken in your toilet. Just don't. In hindsight, I'm like, why did I think that was going to be a good idea? Why did I think that would end well? I don't know. But I think on some level, a part of my brain still operates like a 4-year-old and views the toilet as a magical hole that you can just throw shit down and it goes away. Literally. I logically know otherwise, but I am why I cannot have nice things, okay? Legit. I am my own biggest problem. God. Yeah, anyway. But I am humble enough to tell it to you guys. Like, I've told you a million times, I'm an open book. I tell you guys everything. The good, the bad, and in cases like this, the really ugly, so, yeah. But, yeah, if you should ever find yourself in a really fucked up situation like this, toilet augers. Toilet augers are a godsend. Just saying. Just saying. But try not to find yourself in such a situation, but just in case, you know, life's weird, shit happens. Yeah, there you go. So, anyway, for those who are wondering on the update of what all happened with that, there you go. So, anyway, that is it for this one, guys. So, as usual, I still can't think about it without laughing. So, anyway, as usual, you know what to do. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a like. If you're not already and you'd like to be, click subscribe. Hit that notification bell icon so you never miss an upload of any of my stupid antics. Leave comments down below. Have you ever done some stupid crap like this? I'm sure I'm not the only one. Please leave your stories down in the comments and make me feel better about myself. Make sure you're following my social media accounts, my Facebook fan page, my Twitter, my Instagram, my eBay, my Reddits, everything and more. It's all down below. And if you like what I do here on this channel and you'd like to help support it, the donation link, as always, is down in the description. Anyway, guys, till next time, see ya.